Hello, everybody.
Hey, want to welcome everybody. We are doing a special edition of the School Transportation Nation podcast, Bus Technology Summit Virtual Edition. Hey, what's up, Ryan?
Hey.
I am Tony Corpin, the publisher of School Transportation News, and this episode is brought to you by Transfinder, the leader in school bus routing software, and our friends at Zonar, the leader in smart fleet management. Transfinder is our diamond sponsor at the Bus Technology Summit, as well as our friends at Zonar. They are our title sponsor. Thank you to you both. And also a shout out to our friends at REI for being a diamond sponsor as well. Yes, golf clap, clap. Yes, yes. And also I have my illustrious co-host.
Hey, everybody. How's it all going? It's Ryan Gray, editor-in-chief of School Transportation News. Thanks again for joining us today, our inaugural virtual Bus Technology Summit. Tons of work went into this, Tony. Our staff is running on fumes, but excited nonetheless. It came together quick, but from everything that we've seen so far, it's been a success. A lot of folks showing up today, a lot of conversation. Of course, being technical, there were some interesting moments here and there with some technical issues which were really out of our control. But hey, that's what happens when you're live. Really our first, obviously, live virtual event. We're used to doing these things in person, but that's really, I think, the theme of today, Tony, was so many people were just so happy to be able to see others again, see their old friends, make new acquaintances, reconnect with old ones, talk shop, lots of great conversation. And the good news is we got 3 more days of this, so.
Yeah, there's no shortage of wanting to network. I think everybody was pretty excited to see other familiar faces, and really, it's about bringing the community back together. We're really excited to be a kind of a facilitator of that, and that's really what School Transportation News is all about. And the School Transportation Nation, we're sharing information of what people are doing out there in the community to kind of keep kids safe, stay operationally efficient, and I think there were a lot of topics we hit on today, right? And there was a really fabulous tech talk that we opened up with Ian McCurlick. I know you were there. I was definitely there. He really opened my eyes to some mega trends that we saw or we're going to see headed that way. He talked about electrification. He talked about ride sharing. He talked about, autonomous. I know that's been a discussion for everybody in terms of some of the safety technologies that are out there. There's just a lot headed in that direction. And it gets me excited where the future is going in school transportation. And I don't know about you, Ryan, but it's one of those things that you start to just see it come together. And that closing talk from Jean Soyer from Bus Patrol, man, just hit it out of the park. Really a fabulous mention there. He talked a lot about trends as well. There's just so much to cover. I don't even know where to begin. Ryan, you want to give, what was your favorite today? What did you see? What was some highlights?
Well, it's interesting. So, I was prepping this. I was looking this up because, it changes every year. September, I was thinking September 21st. Is this the end? Is it fall yet? It's actually tomorrow. So this was officially the last day of summer, folks. So you were spending the last day of summer with us. I know schools back in session nationwide. We're talking about all the virtual, hybrid, back in person models. Happened to be, saw a headline just a little bit ago, New York City schools went back to school today, started mostly virtual for their almost 1 million kids, 90,000 of which are in pre-K and special needs. So they went back to class. So school buses are running. Saw some school bus, New York school bus contractors, New York City school bus contractors on the Bus Technology Summit earlier. But really, coming back to Ian, he made the case for technology, embracing technology. And the C in case stands for connectivity. And that really encompasses what this Bus Technology Summit was all about. Connectivity, of course, we're talking about technology. We're talking about what this means for your operations. We're bringing all these experts in, folks who are operators that have experience with these different technologies or are right in the same boat as with a lot of you of just, adopting this technology now. Wi-Fi, for example, is a lot of people just getting into that and adopting that. or at least using it for different roles to play with, not just for the students, but for data dumping and whatnot. But really, you know, that connectivity where we're just connecting again, sharing ideas. We have the experts from the vendor side of things with their thought leader presentations. We have our product showcases. So, you know, it was great to see hundreds and hundreds of people on our sessions all day long. Bless you, Tony. So, you know, it's just really interesting, you know, seeing all these conversations again. And what it comes back to, we've been talking about this all summer, right? People, school districts, school bus companies, there's no one size fits all. There's no easy button. And just saw more of that today. And it was great to actually see it in practice now. People are reporting back of what they're doing, how it's affecting them, you know, amid this changing guidance. And, you know, just again today, CDC pulled a switcheroo on us. Late last week, they posted a new guidance saying that COVID-19 was basically transmittable through the air, and now they've walked that back and they've updated their website. So I keep hearing a lot of confusion out there from attendees saying, well, what about the regulations? And all I can say, and I know some of our speakers and different attendees mentioned this as well, it's recommendations. And whether you're talking about social distancing or, you know, whatever, there's all these recommendations out there. There's all this guidance, but districts will have to do what makes sense for them and what meets their operational needs. So that's the basic long and short of it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. I mean, I ran across and talked to a few people during the Bus Tech Summit, and they really echoed similar things. I think, you know, we're looking at the future of where things are going to, and it was touched on a little bit, like smart cities and how our city is going to evolve. And with autonomous, I think that's a very interesting one because, I mean, maybe school buses we talk about won't be autonomous. Or there are levels of autonomy, right? Like I believe there's 5 levels, and we'll probably be in level 2 or level 3. But the cars around us might be autonomous, right? There might be driverless cars. So that's a whole nother thing with how does that work? How does everything communicate? I mean, we're talking about stuff that's like, wow, it's like, that's so far away, like 20 years, but is it, right? Like, I feel like things are moving so much faster these days. We might see that sooner, especially with COVID, right? Like, I don't want to get in a ride share with a driver. Hey, if there's no driver, I can't get COVID, I guess, right? So who knows, right? How that's going to work.
Well, and it comes back to electrification. The E in the case that Ian McCurlick made earlier, connectivity, autonomy, shared, and electrification. And that's exactly right. You know, when folks are saying, oh, well, autonomous probably won't reach school bus like it does in other vehicles. Yeah, I'd push back on that, because as more and more passenger vehicles and commercial vehicles are autonomous, the school bus can't be the same old vehicle going down the road. Obviously, we've seen here in the industry tons and tons of innovations. So while it looks a lot like the school bus of 40, 50 years ago, so much has changed inside in the guts, if you will. But still, you know, the school bus has to keep pace. It has to keep up with the times. That's why the OEMs are all, you know, putting so much R&D effort into this concept of autonomous and electrification, because they mesh, and you need to have these vehicles talk to each other. You need the vehicles to be able to talk to the infrastructure. You need to, you know, have this vehicle to everything concept, this V to X. So that's really where we're going. And that's why from my standpoint, I always think when I hear people say, you know, school bus is never really going to be truly autonomous. I think that's commenting, of course, on the fact that we're transporting students and you can't just leave these kids to their own devices. But that aside, how does autonomy change the safety of the school bus? How does it increase the safety? Certainly there's aspects that we have to be very considerate of, and we need to be cautiously optimistic about, which is going to be the topic that our disruption expert, Jim Harris, jumps into yesterday. And then he has a follow-up panel that really dives into that. But, you know, how does this evolve the driver too? So there's this whole human element to technology as well. We can't forget that. I mentioned this at the top of our Let's Chat Talk, or Let's Talk chat group earlier this morning, that school bus safety really begins and ends with the school bus driver. We can't take that out. That's why training is so important, and continue to evolve and get better and challenge ourselves.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And yeah, I think it's very eye-opening. And I'm just looking at our chat real quick, and definitely lots of people are saying, hey, it was just an eye-opening day. It just blew my mind. Some people are throwing shout outs, thanking them for the goodie box. For some of you might have received a goodie box in the mail from us. We had identified some people early in the process. We could get some swag out to people. Just make it feel a little more like a conference, with your own badge, and, you just went there. It just, it felt a little normal, right? Thanks to our friends at CI Solutions for making these badges for us. They came through. It's really exciting to try to just bring everyone in this space where we can discuss some of these exciting topics and where transportation is going and how we can kind of lead the conversation. It's not for us to tell people you should do this or you should do that. We're just giving you the information so you can make an informed decision. And I think that's where really I want to hit home. I want you all to go to the virtual trade show. Go to those presentations from your sponsoring companies, because those guys are there for you. They need you as much as you need them. And it's so important that happens. I mean, I was sitting in the Let's Talk EV, and I was in that session, and one of Zonar's leaders was in there leading that discussion. And there was just so much comments in the chat. It was really just exciting to see people making an investment into EV, but they had a lot of questions. And I mean, there were people saying, oh, I'm getting 25 new EV buses. Before it was like a onesie Tuesday. Now it's turning into, hey, I'm buying 20 or 25 or gearing up infrastructure, or I'm planning for infrastructure so much more. So it's really exciting to see the trends of EV, and thanks to our friends at Zonar for emceeing that Let's Talk EV session. That was a really good one.
Yeah. And definitely, I learned something. Tesla has a battery day tomorrow. As they're unveiling some of their technology as they're getting unveiling the more of their path forward for large commercial truck. One of the attendees in that same electric Let's Talk chat, Tony mentioned what kind of disruption is this going to have for school bus? And I posted something on Twitter. Elon Musk was mentioning it, so I retweeted that, and I mentioned, well, if anything, it might be disruptive to some of the, at least parent companies of some of the school bus EV manufacturers, because certainly from a large standpoint, large truck standpoint, those are the Tesla's their new competitor. And we're going to see some amazing stats tomorrow from Jim Harris, talking about Tesla market cap and where it compares to Fiat, Chrysler, GM, and Ford. I don't want to give away his home run pitch there, but some really eye-opening stuff, and it shows you how much things have changed and how much disruption has really evolved our whole life, our whole society. So.
Yeah, I mean, and what hasn't been disruptive more to our lives than COVID, right? And I think that after watching Antonio Civitella's presentation today, he talked all about routing and routing kids safely during COVID, and cohorts and hybrid systems. It was just like everybody's going through it. We're all in the same boat. Reliving kind of like, how do you reinvent transportation? How do you reinvent your routing? And it was so interesting to see that. I know he's got a big tech talk coming up on Tuesday afternoon. I can share a little bit about, we all want peace in our lives. While we can't control the external conditions in our lives, there are some things we can control. In the talk by Transfinder CEO Antonio Civitella, he'll outline the peace plan. The P starts for planning, and E ends for examining and re-examining that plan, what comes between, right? So again, find him on Tuesday at 12:15 Pacific, 3:15 Eastern. Also stop by Transfinder's virtual booth. Also talk to a Transfinder associate or CEO Antonio Civitella to find out more about his peace plan. They will see you there. And on that note, I want to make sure everybody knows this is a cocktail party. So we are bringing in our STN staff bartender. Everyone should have one. Ryan and I are enjoying our blue margarita. The cup actually turns blue, but our friends at Zonar, I'm sure, love a blue cup. We have our bartender, Sam Geierman, coming on. We would love to have her come up and make us a drink while we're working on it. Ryan, cheers to a great start to Bus Tech Summit.
Slancha.
Very good.
And cheers to all you out there, because again, we couldn't do it without you. So we really appreciate you coming in and spending some of your day. We know it's difficult because obviously, with an on-site event, everyone flies out, you're gone for the week, you set your email outage reminder. There's Sam. You tell everybody, you tell the kids, you kiss the wife, you kiss the husband, you say, hey, see ya, honey, we'll see you in a few days. And here it is, we're coming to you now. I know you're juggling work, you're juggling back to school, so we really appreciate you taking time out to be with us.
Yeah, so Sam today is making a margarita. Sam,
yes.
Tell us what you have on the menu today for us.
Okay, we just have our basic margarita. Nothing too crazy here. Yes, there's the recipes right here, thanks to Kent. We have our BTS cup that some of our attendees got in their swag box, so this is great. We're going to use this to start, so I would just prep your glass. You do not want a cold, or you do not want a warm glass, so we're going to prep it. That's the worst, right? Get like a cold beer or it's like not too hot or not too cold. Okay, so I'm using tahini for my rim. You guys can either do salt or sugar or nothing, whatever you prepare.
I didn't get any of that. You holding that on us, Sam? Brian and
I.
We're skimping.
I'm sure you'll find something in the office. Okay, so we have that. And just put some ice in it and just set that to the side.
There we go. Damn, looking good. Yeah, so our margarita recipe is up. We have 2 ounces of tequila, 1 ounce of orange liqueur, the agave nectar, the simple syrup, the fresh lime juice. If you want to make yourself a drink, it's a good time to take a chance. You all deserve it after a long day of hard work here. It depends where you're at. We're on the West Coast, so
a little early, but hey, especially if you got some afternoon routes. But
is it too early? I feel like it's not too early for us.
Well,
we've had a long couple of weeks.
It's always what do they say? It's beer 38 somewhere, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I want to also take the time to also mention Zonar is having a session tomorrow at 9:15 Pacific to 9:45. Think outside your budget. How to find grant funding. So if you're looking for money to pay for all this technology, our friends at Zonar are there to help you out. Make sure and go by and visit them at their virtual booth. Also check out their session. They would love to see you at it tomorrow. It'd be really helpful to have. All right, Sam, that drink's looking really good.
We just added our 2 ounces of tequila. I have Casamigos, probably one of my favorites, but whatever you guys choose. And we have Cointreau here, 1 ounce of this. I like this over triple sec. I don't know about you guys, but I prefer this. And then we have our agave nectar. You can either do simple syrup, but agave nectar is a little bit sweeter, so I did mix it with some water so it's not too sweet. And then we have our fresh lime, juiced during trade show.
There you go.
So, yeah,
nicely fresh. Nice.
Yes,
fresh
exactly.
Lime. That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, this is one of my favorite podcasts ever, Ryan. It's like cocktail hour.
Maybe we need to do this more often.
Definitely. I think there might be something to that. You know, I want to take this time also to remind everybody to, if you are in the Bus Technology Summit platform or you haven't joined us, be sure and sign on bustechsummit.com. For those folks that are on with us live today, we've just put up our polls on the most innovative awards, like the innovation awards, most innovative app, most innovative software, most innovative hardware, and the coolest product you saw at Bus Technology Summit. Look at that. She's just shaking up that drink.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear it. I didn't want to cut you off, Tony.
That's all right. That's all right. This little background noise helps. Yeah. So make sure and vote. We're going to be giving away some cash prizes to everybody who votes, and we already have our two recipients of our gift card. Ryan, do you want to give it to us with the drum roll? It's in our chat feed.
And the winner is.
Come on,
Who
Ryan.
is the winner?
Don Carter, St. Lucie Public Schools.
Oh, there we go.
Jeremy Sitton from Santa Maria Joint Union High School District. You are the winner of the $100 Amazon gift card for voting in our Innovation Award polls. We will be giving away the 2 Amazon $100 gift cards every day on the podcast if you vote. So make sure and check it out. Sam, your drink's looking pretty blue.
Yeah, all cheers to that. Congrats to the winners.
Congrats to the winners.
Yes.
So both coasts, is that right? So that's Santa Maria in California, and then we have Port St. Lucie in Florida. So we have a little beach vibe going too. So we need to get a little. We're drinking the margaritas. Good job. Congratulations, all.
You guys can win too. Make sure and vote. Lots of people out there. They'd love your vote. Lots of cool products to check out during Bus Technology Summit. And guess what? You got to be present to win. But in virtual, you don't have to fly anywhere, right? You just got to log in from your home. And I see my friend Clint Breyer's on there. He's got his young son. He's enjoying time with him. Spending time from the house, just working. So shout out to Clint, and hope you're having a good cocktail, my friend. And I see Susan's on. Susan from Zonar. Glad to have you. Really fun time we're having today. So lots of fun stuff, Ryan. I mean, let's dive into a few more topics while we got a few more minutes here. Mm-hmm. Anything we can expect tomorrow on the Bus Tech Summit that, anything that's just a must attend, just jumps out at you?
Yeah, well, I did mention Jim Harris's Tech Talk tomorrow, and then he's following up with a really engaging panel. Our first and only, we have another panel on Thursday, but really one of only 2 opportunities where we do more of an in-depth conversation. And certainly this is still going to be very interactive. So show up, request to come on the screen. And by the way, just a reminder to everybody, I noticed that this is a brand new platform, right? But when you're going into the sessions, and if you click for permission to share your mic and your video, you're going to show up and I'm going to pull you up. So hold off. If you have a question or you want to share, go ahead and click that button. I'm going to bring you up on screen and you're going to talk and you're going to share. So be prepared.
We have a really important question from Charlie Hood. Where did the dehydrated oranges come from, Sam?
That's very important.
Top question on the podcast today.
Yes. Well, that is a question for Amy. She ordered all of them for you guys. Yeah. Trade secret, can't tell you just yet, but
we'll have to email Charlie on the dehydrated orange.
Does he like them? Good.
All right. Well, we hope you love it. No red Solo cups either. These are the blue, our blue margarita cups today. And I special shout out, thank you to our friends at Zonar, title sponsor, Transfinder, diamond sponsor, and REI as well. We appreciate you guys sponsoring. And to all our other sponsors, make sure you guys go to that virtual trade show. Super important to share. They all want to see you. It's a little tricky when you go into the virtual booth because they don't see who you are when you enter that booth. You gotta drop a note in the chat to just say, "Hi, I'm here. Well, great to see you. Love to join you on screen." And if you don't want to jump on screen, then you don't have to. But at least create a chat or a conversation because they don't know to present to you if you don't say anything or prompt them. So really want to let people know that to take advantage of those people while they're there as a resource to you. Oh, Amy came in. Fancy free liquor in Burbank provided us the dehydrated oranges for that top question. So thank you for that.
Inquiring minds want to know. But Tony, you were asking me about tomorrow, so I was mentioning the follow-up panel that Jim Harris and I are going to be on, where we're going to have Stan Caldwell from Carnegie Mellon University, an artificial intelligence expert. One of the works for, he's an executive director. He's at Carnegie Mellon University. He's also a transportation executive director for this transportation center at the university. It's a US DOT recognized institution. And then we're going to be joined by Kane Smith, director of transportation at Cypress Fairbanks ISD outside of Houston, third largest district in Texas. And we're going to be joined by Katrina Falk, who's director of transportation at Shelby Eastern Schools in Indiana, which is more of a rural. But both big consumers of technology. So they're going to really dive into that topic I was mentioning earlier about embracing technology with cautious optimism, because there is a lot that goes into technology. It gets really exciting sometimes to just go, oh, let's get all this technology, but how is it going to really work in reality? Also, too, when a lot of you, most of you, in fact, you filled out a survey for us, and we want to thank you. We had huge participation. We asked a question on which of the following equipment categories does your organization forecast the need to procure over the next year? And leading the way, COVID-19 cleaning supplies. We're going to have a Let's Talk chat about cleaning and disinfecting tomorrow. And we're also going to talk about ventilation. That goes right, part and parcel with that. Aside from Type C and D buses, parent communication, video security systems came in a very close fourth, right behind parent communications. We're going to have a Let's Talk chat on video tomorrow. So just kind of a quick peek at some of the things that we're lining up for conversations tomorrow.
Yeah, Ryan, that's really great. So how many respondents did we have on that survey? It's a pretty big number, right?
Oh, well, total, yeah, it was like 1,400, I think. And then depending on what the operations were, no, I'm sorry, almost 1,700 respondents at this time. And then kind of depending on, because we have folks all over the gamut that at companies, school districts, vendors. So we have a good 650, 700 people that were answering a lot of the operations questions. So really good engagement, really on par with a lot of the results that we got back over the summer that fed our trends section in the magazine. So I want to thank you all for participating, and we'll definitely dive into these topics more tomorrow on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ryan. Yeah, no, I mean, data is very powerful, and a lot of us talk about it, and technology really gives us access to an enormous amount of data. And it's about, crowdsourcing and sharing. And that's what, again, like I said, what we're here to do. And this podcast is all about bringing it together, bringing everyone together to share kind of the trials and tribulations you guys face every day in terms of the safety, operation, budget, student concerns. I spoke to one transportation director out in Colorado before this event started, and he was stressed because he said, hey, one of my employees got COVID, not a student. They hadn't even started school yet. They were just about to start today, start transporting kids, and a staff member's mom got it and then gave it to them. And then he's like, I got to shut down my whole terminal. It's just a cascading effect. I know my kids preschool, I have a little 2.5-year-old girl, Peyton, and we got a note. Oh, somebody in the blue room was coughing. So, that's not my kid's room, but that's in the preschool. So then they got to send them home. They have to have a doctor check them. They can't come back to school for 72 hours. I mean, as a parent, you kind of pause for a second when you get that email from that preschool. So a lot of concerned parents, the school starting, but then you hiccup for a second and everything grinds to a halt real quick. So really hoping we see the light at the end of the tunnel of this COVID thing. My heart can't take much more.
No, definitely not. So, and I want to invite people also. We have a webinar coming up on October 1st. So we're going to talk about getting back to school. What's some realistic plan? What really has to happen, and what's transportation's role in that? So that's something that's coming up. But when you were talking, it was bringing me back to Ian's talk. And at the end, he talked about what is necessary to really make that case. And he talked about vision. You got to have the vision. you got to have the funding. So there's lots of talk about funding that we had today, and that we're going to continue to have throughout this week. Timing, right? Timing is everything. That's one of the secrets of life, really. And enablers. And to your point, Tony, enablers are not just the vendors. Yes, that's part of the equation. But again, it's coming to an event like this. How can your peers help you, enable you? How can you work better with your superintendents, your school board? And back to the data, if you're being armed with that data, transportation for too long, frankly, has been in the shadows. They are more response oriented, reactive. It needs to be proactive. It needs to be more proactive. It's out of a goodness of their hearts. Service oriented people. They're responsive, reactive, but we need to be more proactive and really champion what we all do, what you guys all do every day, and that's providing the story, telling the story to your school board, your superintendent, your local media. So hopefully events like this will energize you. It will help you find a guidepost. Are you doing the right thing? What are some of the questions you have to ask? Oh, some people are talking about GPS, and I never thought of that. Or people that are talking about, yeah, this technology is all great stuff, but I don't have the staff I don't have the staff to help with all that. I'm up to here with routes, and I'm a transportation director. I'm driving. My one mechanic is driving. How do we do this? Again, these conversations give insights, and the types of folks in your communities, in your city government, in your county government, folks you can reach out to engage and help them enable you get what you want done, what you need to get done.
Yeah, and one thing I'll give people some advice I heard again from another transportation director I spoke with is that they were short drivers. They were panicking. And guess what? They went to the city right next to them who was shut down, who couldn't have school, and they borrowed drivers. They're like, it was a game changer. I was able to get 30 drivers from the city next to me who wasn't in session when I was going back. It made all the difference to make things work. So don't be afraid to look at your community and the people around you as a resource. They are willing to help you out. We are an industry that helps each other. This is what it's all about, helping the kids, making the dream work, right? And I think this conference could not have been possible without the STN staff. My team has just gone way above and beyond. They are just killing it today. There's Ken.
Hey, made an appearance.
Alice, Sam, Amy, Claudia, everybody on the STN team, round of applause. Really great job, guys. And, couldn't have done it without our sponsors. Thanks to the Zonar and their marketing team, Sarah, Susan, Ian, everybody on the team. Also, thanks to Transfinder, Antonio Civitella, John Daniels, their whole team, really rock stars. They did a great job. Really looking forward to the tech talk from Antonio and special friends, REI, Scott Hayes, Drew, Gregor, Carol, all thanks to you guys too. Just thanks so much, guys. It just wouldn't work without the village of all of us working together to make it really fly. And thank you to everyone. It's been great. And you can catch all the previous episodes of the School Transportation Nation podcast on Apple, Spotify, at stnpodcast.com. Subscribe, tell your friends, tune in for another happy hour podcast. One last toast, Ryan, closing out our first day. Cheers to everybody. Cheers to you out there. School Transportation Nation, you guys rock. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow for day 2 of the Bus Technology Summit.
Have a great evening.
Bright and early.
Have a great evening, everyone. See you tomorrow.
You just have to try harder than you fight. You might be lost like sunshine in the night.